Hi, everyone. I'm Professor Drew Thomasis, and I'm here to tell you about the study of religion. The first thing that you need to know about the study of religion is that it doesn't require you as a student or me as a professor to actually be religious. It's a field of study just like history or sociology. So as I'm sure you know, there's no requirement that historians of American history have to be American. Similarly, there's no requirement that sociologists of Peru have to be Peruvian, and therefore there's no requirement that scholars of Buddhism have to be Buddhist. And this helps to highlight a really important point in our field, which is that there's a big difference between theology on the one hand, which we do not do, and the study of religion, which we do. So first, let's look at theology. Theology comes from two Greek words, the first being theos, meaning God, the second logia, which means essentially the study of. So theology then is simply the study of God. And in theology, you ask questions like, is God all-knowing? Is God a man with a white beard? Are there actually multiple gods and goddesses instead of just one? So these might very well be interesting questions, but they're not questions that we ask in our department. And that's because we're not in the business of making claims about the true nature of God. We just don't do that. But instead, we study this thing that people call religion. So let's look at that. The word religion comes from the Latin word religio, which in itself comes from the Latin verb religare. Religare means to bind or to bind tightly. So when thinking about religion then, I like to think of it as a thing that binds people to other things. So religion binds people to certain ritual obligations and responsibilities. It binds people to sacred texts or sacred places. It binds people to gods and goddesses. And finally, it binds people to other people, making families and communities. Importantly, the binding of religion always begins with people, not gods or God. It's people who write philosophy, myths, and sacred texts, people who perform rituals and make history, and it's people who believe. So the point then is a simple one. The study of religion is the study of people. The next question, of course, is why study religion? There are, of course, several reasons, but let me just isolate two. The first is about culture. If you want to understand culture, either yours or the culture of others, you have to know about religion. It's impossible to understand the world of 100 years ago, yesterday, or tomorrow, without understanding the religious ideas that shape it. So art, music, television, architecture, literature, whatever, so much of human expression is impacted by religious beliefs and worldviews. So if you want to understand Star Wars or Harry Potter or Beyonce, the study of religion is going to help. The second reason for studying religion speaks to this idea of global citizenship. So as you know, of course, college is for a lot of things, including not only broadening your intellectual horizons and preparing for a job, but also for becoming a global citizen. A global citizen is simply someone who feels confident engaging in the world, a person who tries to put into practice, try to bring about positive change in whatever avenue that they feel most impassioned. But of course, it all starts with knowledge, so that when you open a newspaper or watch the news, you actually have the tools to understand what's going on around you. So if you feel this call and you want to make the world a more just, a more peaceful, and more sustainable place, then you need to learn about religion. If you want to understand nationalism, you need to learn about religion. If you want to understand war and conflict, you need to learn about religion. If you want to understand racism and other forms of discrimination, you need to learn about religion. Of course, any broad-based humanities education will help you to understand the many different facets of these things, but religion really is at their core. And I think that that's a part of what makes this so worthy of study. So if these things sound interesting and make you curious, then check us out. Take a religion class, or 1 or 2 or 10, and that's that. So be well, and hopefully we'll see you around.